Wait, you expect me to review a movie? As if. I'm John Stark from MacMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic. It's my best share impersonation, and this is absolutely a 30th anniversary celebration of Clueless. Uh, I can't, it's been 30 years. So weird. I feel so old. I feel so old. Oh god. Amy Heckling's Clueless, which is an loose adaptation of Jane Austen's Emma, to the point where even if you like go to IMDb and you look at written by, it doesn't have to say that it's based on Emma, but sort of like it's like 10 Things I Hate About You, which is loosely based on Taming of the Shrew, William Shakespeare's Taming of the Shrew. Yeah, so this is comedy classic. It was a part of my, teenage years. It was sort of the earlier part of that sweet spot of teen comedies for me because just coming I was in like middle school, coming into junior high in like 1995. So, my sweet spot of teen films from the 90s was more like She's All That, Varsity Blues, American Pie. Those kind of movies were sort of like when I was high school. But I mean, Clueless was out, so I was watching it. And I didn't grow up in Beverly Hills, so I can't attest to anything, or in the Valley or anything like that over in LA. So I have no idea the authenticity in this film. But obviously, this film helped make stars like Alicia Silverstone, who went on after this to play Batgirl in Batman and Robin. She's in Begonia later this year. It's possible Yorgos Lanthimos could get her an Oscar nomination. We'll see. That'd be fun. She's also signed on to do the Peacock reboot of the series, Clueless. So that should be interesting. We've got Stacey Dash. It's because she's got to be in the. I know. Stacey's has had a rough 30 years. Not quite the same level, but you can't have Cher without Dion. Like Dion's got to be in the reboot. It's like I'm watching the Buffy the Vampire Slayer reboot assemble its cast, and I'm like, where the fuck are the Scoobies? uh, as of me making this video, it's just like the only returning character who's been announced is Buffy, and I'm like, where the fuck is everybody else? I know some of these people are available to come back. They're eligible. And I think like bare minimum, like Allison Hannigan. We gotta get Allison Hannigan back. Like something has to happen in that direction. So, but yeah, it's so weird that it's anyway. But so yeah, Stacey Dash, Dion. Also Brittany Murphy, the late great Brittany Murphy, is fantastic in this. We've got Paul Rudd. Around the same time, he was also in like a Halloween. He was in like Halloween 6 Curse of Michael Myers. It was around the same time. And we've got Breckin Meyer, which he's still recognized for this performance quite a bit. He's talked about that in podcasts and stuff, how he's, like a lot of people remember him as being the stoner from Clueless. We've got, I think I said Donald Faison, who's going to do the Scrubs reboot with Zach Braff. So that's cool. They're re-teaming for that. We've got Dan Hedaya, who's excellent here as Alicia Silverstone's father. I kind of miss him. I don't know what happened to his career. I feel like he kind of petered out, but I don't know why. And it's not because he died. I mean, he might be by now, but I mean, he didn't die at like 2000, but I'm not really sure what he did in the 2000s. I kind of remember him in the 90s. He was also in like First Wives Club. He's a great character actor that they just kind of brought out for things. And I don't know when we stopped using him or why, but I always loved Dan Hedaya. And along with that, I'm trying to think of all the people. Jeremy Sisto's in this. Um, After this, I think he... So the fun fact about Jeremy Sisto, since I'm giving fun facts about everybody, I don't know what kind of review this is going to be, but Jeremy Sisto went on to do Titanic. I know you're thinking to yourself, no, you didn't, you idiot. That's fucking Leonardo DiCaprio. No. So Jeremy Sisto originally had the role, and then James Cameron let him go and cast Leonardo DiCaprio. So Jeremy Sisto was actually filming Titanic for a little while, but he just wasn't working, and Cameron didn't like wasn't a huge fan of Sisto in the role, so he replaced him with DiCaprio. There is something about Jeremy Sisto that feels older. Like, he just feels older. Like in Clueless, he's sitting there in the car and he feels like a dad. Like, there's something that Jeremy Sisto just had immediately where he felt more mature than everybody, and I think that's probably what James Cameron was looking at, was that the age didn't match the vibe that Sisto gives off. So, I mean, sort of in and around the same time, not too far after this, he'll also do like Suicide Kings, where he's sort of playing already like a grown-up. He feels older in this movie than Paul Rudd does. And Paul Rudd's supposed to be an older than the others. So it's kind of an odd beat for him. Also, the great character actor Wallace Shawn, who I love, is in here. He's great, fantastic, love that man. We have not done enough with that man's career. He should have had his own sitcom. Like, there should have been like a Wallace Shawn centric sitcom that ran for like 10 years, but there isn't one. Shame. For shame, Hollywood. The fact that he's had to just only pop in as a guest star and nobody figured out how to use him in like a Curb Your Enthusiasm type of way is just like an opportunity sorely missed. There's Eliza, I forget her last name, but I know who she is. She's in this too. I'm doing pretty good. I have no notes. For those who are blind, I'm not, you hear no screen reader, and those who can see me, I'm not looking at a screen. I'm not reading this from my IMDb. This is all just pulling from memory. So, this is the sort of classic cast of characters featured in the film. And, I forgot the name of the actor that plays Christian. I don't want to, I know Christian's a character in the film. I just can't remember who that is. It's a fun movie. Cher she's an airhead. She's a Barbie girl living in a Barbie world. Wealthy. Her dad is Dan Hedaya. I can't remember why we never see the mother, and I just watched this movie. She has a stepbrother who is Paul Rudd. So it's very important to note that they're not full brother and sister. So, Josh. And their dad is this high-powered lawyer, so he's always angry and at the table, and if he receives, nobody else is allowed to use their phone when he's trying to have a dinner, but then if his phone rings, hilariously, everybody else gets to pull out their phone because their dad will run away and go talk on the phone. But Cher decides she doesn't get the grades that she wants, so she sort of finds ways of arguing and making her grades better. But there's one grade that she just can't change, and it's like her debate teacher, who's Wallace Shawn. So she figures out a way, thinking that Wallace Shawn is lonely, and she finds like another cute teacher that she thinks he's interested in or might be interested in, and kind of match makes them together, and suddenly Wallace Shawn is happy, and she gets a higher grade. Her grade goes from like a C+ to an A-, and her dad's really impressed with her ability to do that. So after that, she just wants to do more of this. So she finds Brittany Murphy's character has transferred in. She's new. And she's a bit of a hot mess in the beginning, but because she's brand new and nobody knows her, Cher and Dion take her under their wing and reinvent her and give her a makeover type and try to set her up with like a hot new boyfriend, which is the conflict here is the fact that Cher herself is single and doesn't have a boyfriend. So eventually, Tay and Cher are gonna, like the same guy, but it's gonna be a guy that Cher doesn't realize she likes. It's Josh. Takes a long time to get there, because first she tries to set her up with Jeremy Sisto's character. I forget what his name is, and that doesn't work. And meanwhile, the whole time, Breckin Meyer is like trying so hard to get Brittany Murphy's attention because they are kindred spirits. Like Brittany Murphy is really sort of like a stoner at heart, but they've tried to like elevate her and be like, no, you don't want to be a burnout. You don't want to be. We want to elevate your social status. We want you to be popular like us. Stay away from him. He's not popular. So, Cher will go on to date Christian. Use the term date lightly because they find out that Christian is gay. And in not like, I look back on this film for the 90s and look back on LGBT representation, and it's Donald Faison's character. I always want to call him Turk. He's like Turk and everything. He's not Turk in this. His character has another name. I know he does. I'm always just like, my brain is always just like Turk. So Turk wants him to, no. So he's the one who points it out. As now I'm looking back, it's funny when you're gay and you look back on things and you're like, I don't know. Is that the best representation? Is that a great way to do that? Whatever. It feels like a 90s kid way. It's not, I mean, this is a year after Ace Ventura cleans himself in bleach. So hey, we've made progress. And then Christian does kind of get to stick around, and so it's not like he's some weird ostracized character from the film, but yeah, so Christian happens, and then the two of them realize they both like Josh, but of course it's going to end up being Cher. That's the end of the movie, is that Cher and Josh realize they like each other, that all of their infighting the whole movie means that these siblings are in love. But should they be? Clueless is considered a classic from the 90s, a comedy classic. I think probably to the chagrin of some people who have seen Clueless who are like, I can't believe this is considered. It is kind of wickedly smart. It's very quotable. I'm going to mess up the dialogue, but the line where Eliza's character, whose name I can't remember her last name, but she has the line about my doctor's she has a doctor's note for PE, and she's like, my doctor doesn't want balls flying at my face. Yeah, it's great. But it's one of those movies too where I've seen it a bunch of times. I don't know that I would say a Desert Island movie because I don't want to take necessarily like 100 teen movies to the Desert Island with me. And there are a few others that mean a little bit more to me, in terms of just the hierarchy of this genre. Not that this is that low, but there are some that are, like I said, there was a sweet spot for me with teen films, and Clueless came a little bit before that. It was sort of like the early part of that, the beginnings of a teen genre for me. In 1995, I was still watching shit like Operation Dumbo Drop. Like I wasn't really thinking to myself like, oh my God, what are teen movies? What movies will make me sound cool that I saw? I was like, oh my God, guys, there's a Power Rangers movie. Did you know there's a Power Rangers movie? I love that. So, I was still sort of in that phase. Hadn't quite grown up yet. But, yeah, I like Clueless. And, I own a digital copy of it, and watching the film and having to go through this, I actually forgot that I was supposed to be sort of like listening to the audio description track and thinking to myself, like, oh, because I've seen the movie so many times, it's like I knew it was happening. And it's one of those movies, because I used to be able to see that a lot of the scenes were coming back to me, a lot of the way the characters looked, the way that they walked. And then I realized, wait a minute, a lot of this isn't coming through in the audio description. There's a whole bunch of style. So Clueless's audio description is very effective in telling you who's what, where, when, like those kind of things. But as far as the actual like visual style of the film, the aesthetic, the dresses, the costumes, it hits it occasionally. Like there's an outfit that her father points out is a little bit much. It's a little revealing, and they describe it so that way you know what it is. But these are girls who live for fashion. They are constantly in new dresses. The movie is like almost, fashion is almost a character in and of itself. It's one of those things where if we went back through, I don't know what the costume nominees were in 95, but you could almost consider this a costume nominee. If it was made today for the 90s, like if this was made today, going back to the 90s, it might be considered, because the 90s are sort of period. So if you had to dress a whole bunch of people in 90s garb, it would seem more impressive now. It just wasn't impressive at the time. But the fashion style is so specific. And because it's Beverly Hills, they're all trying to live and look swanky. And this rich upper class style to them. So I don't think that really came through. But that's kind of the only thing. There's some sort of visual humor to it, but not much. There are a couple of jokes that are sort of in physical comedy, but really not much. Most of it is in the dialogue. The car scene is excellent when they go on the highway. It's like one of my favorite scenes. And part of it is just, it's so hard to picture. And they're freaking out, and it's really hard to describe it and around that. But it's their like facial expressions and their reactions. And you kind of just get like the girls squealing, and they're just like freaking out, and Turk, I know that's not his name, in the film is trying to just calm them down so they don't all die on the highway. He's trying to give his girlfriend Dion driving lesson. So I mean that's such a great sequence. I was thinking to myself, yeah, but you can't, the magic of actually seeing their reactions to it is what makes that scene hilarious. So I don't know. I think sort of this is one of those films where the audio description is very efficient. I don't know that I would give it like an excellence in audio description award. Also, I don't know, man. This is also available streaming on places, so it probably has audio description on like Paramount Plus or wherever, Netflix right now. But I listened to my digital copy. It didn't have anybody credited, even though I feel like I've heard this voice before. It was bothering me. I was like, I know this voice. It's not Laura Post, but like I know this voice. And I stayed all the way to the end. I let it play out, and I never heard a company or a name, which was so weird. But so I don't know who did it, but I love Clueless. And if your doctor has advised you to keep balls away from your face, this might be a great movie to watch while you're recuperating, since you can't do anything else. But it's iconic. I've tried to track down. I wanted to at least listen to or get through the whole Clueless musical that Dove Cameron starred in, that was off Broadway, but I seem to have been unable to track down the full cast recording of that, or get sheet music to it or anything like that. It seems like that's a musical that happened, but like nobody wants to know it happened. There's so many musicals so many movies that have been turned into musicals that I know have been turned into musicals, but it's really fucking hard to find their music. Like, it's really hard to find cast recordings. It's really hard to find anything because they didn't quite make it to Broadway. So it's like people just gave up on it and said, well, never mind. And it's like, no, I want to hear the Mr. Holland's Opus musical. I want to hear the Grumpy Old Men musical. I want to hear the First Wives Club musical. Like, I want to hear these things. I want to know how you turn these things into musicals, for good or for bad, you know, for better or worse. Whatever it is, give them to me. So I like Clueless. I like a couple teen comedies more. That's just where I'm at. I think these things are all about where you hit your generation, like where it hits you. But I do like Clueless a lot. So I'm going to give Clueless an 8.8 out of 10. So that's where I'm at. I think it's a comedy classic. So give it a look-see. Check it out. It's really funny. That's a fresh rating in case you just couldn't figure that out on your own. In case you're like, it's 8.8 high. It's anything 66 and above is fresh from me. So thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side.